So far we've been dealing with dates as though they were mere character variables. In other words, it's just something that I need to have as a piece of information, and it's not something that I need to do any math with. However, sometimes it's nice to be able to find out what people's ages are, or how long it's been since their first visit to a clinic or something like that. So if you want to be able to do math with those dates, you need to input them as dates themselves instead of just as character variables. So here's an in-format statement to help us do that. Let's look at the data set first of all. I've got Social Security numbers, dates, and salaries, and this date is coded just like this. I've got a total of 10 characters, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. So I've got 10 characters total that make up this date, and so that's why I'm using this particular format in SAS. I'm also using a salary format. If you notice, we've got a $sign at the beginning of the salary, plus we've got a comma in here. SAS doesn't ordinarily deal with either $signs or commas, and so we can allow it to do that by putting in this in format statement here. And then we can just print this out. I've let this format statement just be a comma for now. Let's check out what happens when I print this out. See how date became a 0 for this particular date, and then I've got some positive numbers and some negative numbers here? What it's actually doing is it's translating this date into the number of days since January 1st, 1960. So January 1st, 1960 itself is a 0. And then any days after that, 62, 86, those dates are going to be positive numbers, and then 11/30/59 is before January 1st, 1960, so it'll be a negative number. And so you can see how it prints those out there. Salaries, similarly, it read in the number as though it were an actual number instead of a character variable, because we use that format statement. Now, these dates don't make a whole lot of sense to us, so we would like SAS to think about it as a date, but then print it back out for us as though it were March or January or something like that. So we can use this format statement here to be able to print it out like that. So I've got a format word date. Let's see what happens. It prints it out as January 1st, 1960. You can use lots of different formats. That's word date. You can also use word date 12 will give you an abbreviation. When we print this out, we get just Jan, Mar, Nov. It gives us 3 letters. Another format is MMDDYY8. You see here. And then when I print this out, I get slashes between the month, the day, and the year. And it only gives me 2 numbers for the year. You can change that as well by using 10 instead. And so on and so forth. There are lots and lots and lots of different formats that you can use in format and format options. So if you want to see a whole list of them, this website is great for that. It's www.rcr.uga.edu/sasdoc/onlinedoc.htm. I've clicked on Base SAS Software and SAS Language Reference, the dictionary, in order to get here. And then it just lists format options and in-format options. It's got the whole dictionary here. You can see you can do ASCII and binary and hexadecimal and weird stuff like that. It's got all kinds of commas it'll deal with, and $signs and other things. So that's just to give you an idea of all the different formats that you could possibly use. It'll deal with time as well. This is just to get you started. If you would like a little bit of a shortcut, instead of using the separate in format and then format statements, you can also just put the in format as you're going along in the input statement. That's just a little bit different way of doing it. And it does the same thing. One last way of dealing with the in format and format statements, is to use in a trib statements. You just want to list the attributes of the variable you're interested in one single statement. So if you're interested in date, you want to format it. Here's an in format. I have a separate format. And you can also throw in a label statement in that a trib statement. The label just makes the print procedure a little bit nicer, a little bit prettier. So if you're interested in the date, maybe this is their birth date, or salary is really annual salary. This is how you would do that if you're already using the in format and format statements. If you're not already fooling with that, you might just want to throw a label on there. This is one way you can do that. You can just label the Social Security number. Just that simple and easy. And then you can just run this whole thing, and it just makes the printout a little bit nicer.